Everyone, my name is Garrett Oakamber, and today I'm going to show you a little sneak peek at my magic mod that I've been building. I call it, I didn't really think of another name for it, so I call it the Skyrim Spell Academy, or Magic Academy, whatever, it doesn't matter, it's one of these mods, but I wanted to show you some progress on the spells I've made. So here I've spawned in a bunch of bandits in my game world, and let's try an epic level spell on him, shall we? Oh, there we go. And yeah, he is dead. If he doesn't die from the fire damage, he died from the fall. Wait, did he survive? Well, that's rare.
Just give up.
Yeah, he survived. Let's try it again, shall we? Burn! Oh. Okay, well, essentially this spell is intended to deal damage to anything that walks into this fire, and they'll take continuous damage, and they get knocked back. I consider this spell an epic level spell because of what it can do in combat. However, I've also included my shadow magic from a former mod that I never released. And shadow magic is piercing magic. It also has a bunch of other interesting effects. So let me just show you what I was able to create in an entire day's time. So here we have a bandit. He's of no consequence to us. And now he's dead. Yeah. He was obliterated. So essentially what this spell did was it created a black... I got a piece of food in my mouth. It created a black ichor on the ground. Anything that steps in this ichor gets launched upwards and essentially burned from the inside out with shadow magic. And shadow magic is piercing magic. You'll know that you're using shadow magic when you have this black aura beneath your feet. That lets you know, yeah, you're a badass. So let's see, is there another guy there? I think there is another guy there. Yeah, he's still alive. Let's try another shadow magic spell on him. Let's try to launch him into the academy, shall we? Oh. Wow, we missed him. Oh, that's right, yeah, blocking terrain. He wasn't in the radius because of the tree. It's not perfect, but it's better than most of my other spells. There we go. Direct hit. It just annihilated him. Oh my god. Yeah, so these are the first two epic spells I've created. And not all epic spells are going to be AoE. They're going to be, you know, varying in size and shape and all that stuff. But for these two, I decided I wanted knockback spells. And this shadow spell is actually an advanced version of my other spell that I created a long time ago, which was the Shadow Aura, or Scatter the Weak. And I've enhanced that, and it's much stronger. I'm going to show you some other spells, too. Alright. This is the Eldritch Ice Volley. Eldritch Ice Arrow Volley. It's pretty fast. We still got a Draugr here for some reason. I don't know why. I was testing it. Ah, there we go. Actually, you know what? Yeah, you're a good test subject. Now I can show people what I'm talking about. So I basically went into the editor, and I took, well, I went from the editor to Nifscope, and I took the Stalrim arrows and I multiplied them, as you can see. So we get this nice volley effect, and I made it sparkle as it hits. Now, yeah, unfortunately, arrows don't really behave. I don't know why it's shooting behind me, but okay. They don't behave when you do a dual cast. So I'm thinking I'm going to change this spell so that it cannot be dual cast. Solely because it's so glitchy when you dual cast. Yeah, and if it does go straight, it goes up and end, but yeah, I'm definitely going to change it so that you can only cast it with, like, your right or left hand. Probably the left hand, since most people are going to be using weapons in the right hand. I'm not hating on the left-handies, but left-handers, but it's a fact that almost, what is it, 1 out of every 5 people you meet is left-handed, so I'm gonna be doing it for the left hand. Well, if you're a left-hand magic caster, then there you go. You know, I'm making you happy, but other than that, You're not going to be casting a spell in your right hand. It's a good spell. It's very strong. It's actually one of the stronger spells I made, besides the epic spells. It's not considered epic at all because they can still resist it. And those arrows will stay for quite a long time on the enemy, but as you can see, they don't appear. I did that on purpose because they're magical, but when they do stick into flesh, they leave a lasting imprint. So I'm going to show you some other spells here. I've also got the Midas magic spells. I honestly think I've done better. I'm not going to say I've done better in the long scheme of things, but I've learned from that spell mod. This is called Breath of Fire. Oh wait, no, before I show you Breath of Fire, because fire fans are going to love that one, let me show you Ignis Lash. Now, Ignis Lash is a mid-range spell. It still has its uses. Every spell I make is going to have some use over the others, but, ultimately you're going to be weighing, the use versus the damage. Now, Ignis Lash is a spell that will cast continuously for a couple of seconds after you release. Now, as you can see, it's like a burst spell. Oh, no, that's right. No, yeah, you don't even get to... It'll automatically end after a certain amount, yeah. So it's a flurry of fire, and then it stops. Now, as you can see, it's creating the Wall of Fire spell. Now, that's the standard Wall of Fire spell right there. So it's going to do standard fire damage with all the resistances entailed, but the initial burst is a lot stronger than the wall. So it's a mid-range spell, and it's still useful because it's guaranteeing that constant flow of damage. Even if you're interrupted, the spell will still cast for a millisecond after. So if you get knocked back or whatever, you'll still be hitting them with fire. And this, ultimately leads to it being better than the wall spell. It does more damage, and you can make more walls. So it's pretty nice. Now I will show you Breath of Fire. This spell is amazing. Alright. Well, I wanted to do the full glory here. Breath of Fire is inspired by the dragons in the game. As you can see, some of these fire spells give me the Atronach aura. I can see my ass is on fire. That is intentional, because I wanted the fire tree to feel special. I'm not a fan of fire magic. However, I know there's a lot of people who love fire magic, so I said, well, I'm going to give them something that, they don't want to have to use a generic fireball ever again, because after you see this, you'll never use a fireball in your life. Yeah, that's Dragon's Breath, and as you can see, it also puts down a standard wall of flame wherever it's cast. Now, for some reason, the one-handed version of this spell casts more of those walls than the two-handed. But the two-handed is bigger and overall stronger. So ultimately, you have different reasons to use each version of this spell. And I like that, because it feels like it's evolved. It has amazing range for a flamethrower. That is crazy. I can hit that tree. So yeah, this is a very strong spell. I might even make it a epic spell, only because of how strong it is. I didn't even put that much damage into it, and it's very strong. Because again, there's a thing with this, the NIF that you're seeing, the image, the fire, the flame wave, hits multiple times per wave. So that, plus it being a concentration spell, it's hitting more times than it would appear to. So it's telling me it's reading at 80 to 90 damage a hit, but it's really hitting for like 3 times that per wave. So I might make this an epic spell as well, and in that case you're seeing 2 of the epic fire spells. I'm going to show you Frostwind. Frostwind is a lower tier spell, but I still find it quite cool. Get it? Cool. It creates a chilling whirlwind, so it's part of the wind tree and ice tree. When I say wind tree, don't get confused and think I made new skill trees. I did not make new skill trees. I don't know how to do that. I know you can, but I figured, no, I wanted to make spells that are themed off those trees. So essentially the spell does a lot of frost damage. It can stun, and it can hit, and it creates like this nice little icy wind effect. It's a little stronger than most of the other vanilla Skyrim ice spells, but it's not the top tier. You'll be learning this pretty early in this mod. And that's only going to wet your whistle for the next one I have.
Come to your Vasker
Alright.
and be a companion.
Well, the next spell we have is obviously a wind spell. Pure wind spell. And it's not a master level spell, simply because it doesn't really do any damage by itself. I did that on purpose. I wanted a spell that's similar to Fusroda, but doesn't really have the same problems that Fusroda does. Fusroda is fun, but ultimately this is going to replace that. So, as a single cast, you get this cloud, which, it's a very short-range spell, mind you, so I guess in one respect Fusroda is a bit better, because it's longer range. However, this is much stronger than Fusroda. So when you hit the ground, within range... Oops, that was not within range. Huh. No, apparently we are hitting the ground, it's just not registering. Let's hit this tree. Okay, that's very strange. Ah, there we go. Okay, apparently the texture is changing. So yeah, it does a shockwave, and that does minor stagger with anything caught in the radius. Now, that's a stagger ability. This, however, is the real deal. And he got hella knocked back. I basically layered knockback effects together to achieve that. Oh. And you can kill people very easily with this for that reason. Where is he?
Rip you in half.
Where is he? Oh, there he is. Hey. I want to show you guys what this will do to the interior stuff, because it's actually really cool. So I'm going to give you a little tour, a very brief tour of my mod. Mainly just showing off spells here, but this is the main hall. As you can see, I've been wrecking shit in here, but that's okay. So here we have the class halls. That other area is just the main greeting area and whatever wizards or whatever. We have different rooms, arcana and mysteries, frost and ice magics, fire magics, unnamed. This is a kind of an orientation area outdoors, and I'll show you that in a moment, but I wanted to show you the feasting hall. I'm pretty proud of the feasting hall. It's a little glitchy right now. As you can see in the background, a bunch of food is spilling into existence. I don't know where that came from. Anyways, I crafted this place within a day. The lights will turn on and off as you walk through. This is not intended. It is a limitation of the game, and also the type of light. However, it's not a big problem. So, it's a single-player game. If you have NPCs here, I'm sure they'll turn it on, but other than that. Alright, well, I'm going to show you what this spell can do to items. Isn't that just the coolest freaking thing you've ever seen? So, essentially, it will suck stuff up into the vortex. And this one right there is more of a shockwave. Like I said, that's a stagger, but this one is not a stagger. That is a knockback, so there is a very big difference on objects. And I love doing this. I just love it. I didn't even intend this room for that, but I'm thinking I'll hide this spell somewhere in this room just so people could have fun with it. Now, oh yeah, there's one thing I did not get to show you guys, and that was what happens when you hit an NPC with Breath of Fire, because Breath of Fire actually does something special when you hit them. It explodes, dealing additional damage, and sometimes knocking them back. Not always. As you can see, it's incredibly strong. It's strong enough to kill Farkas. He is not coming back. Stop hitting yourself. And he's on fire. Alright. Well, for the next few spells, I'll show you the orientation area. Welcome to the orientation. I'm not going to be adding any NPCs that... I don't really know how to quest Like, I don't know how to create quests, that is. So, there's not going to be any NPCs in this mod. I'll probably add in some story effect, like they're all dead or something. I'm adding a lot of shadow magic spells, so maybe something like that went awry and killed everyone. However, if this was a populated area, all the mages would come here to get oriented. You know, they'd be like, hey, you know, and they'd be casting their spells and shit, and hopefully not burning the tables like I just did. But, okay, well, it's a nice place, and there's also practice dummies here, if you're so inclined with magic. I guess you could use them for arrows too, but this is a mage's sanctuary, so whatever. Well, there were other spells I wanted to show you guys. I didn't make a lot off the bat. I have most of them pre-made on other things. Hold on a moment. Alright, I'm back. I was looking through my mod notes, and so I found one called Phantasm that I had created. This was actually the first spell I made for the mod, and I think it needs a little bit of retooling, but it's otherwise okay. So essentially, it's another shadow magic spell. And what does it do? Well, it is a super frigging powerful fury spell. It doesn't really deal any damage, but as you can see, when you hit certain objects, these balls appear. And these balls, I think, are the things that do damage, if I can remember correctly. I cannot remember. So these are basically sigil stones, and I went into Nifscope and I added more of them. And I'm going to do a few other spells that have orb summons, especially the Animus spells. The Animus spell tree is going to have a large list of objects summoned in, because Animus is all about, you know, creating things out of things, animating stuff that otherwise is animated. So, as you can see, there's a little shadowy Hermaeus Mora blob. I'm using that for most of the shadow magic projectiles because it's really cool looking. And the only problem with these types of spells, I mean, if that blast hits people, yeah, it'll infuriate them. However, the additional effect, enemies have to walk into the balls for the effect to take place. Otherwise, it just won't happen. You can have a lot of fun with these. I am also going to do a super silly section of spells that are going to be incredibly difficult to find, and I will showcase them at some point, but I am not going to tell people where to find them, because, you know, that's the point. I'm showing you all these other spells, but the ones you may really find enjoyable are going to be very hard to find. And that may include the cow spell mod. I'm not entirely sure. If I decide to include the War Child mod I made for him, I don't think I'll be adding into this, but I will be adding other silly mods alongside that. Spells in this mod. So Phantasm basically just summons balls, and it's quite fun. Dancing Shards. Now this spell I've had to rework several times, changing animations, changing speeds, simply because of how fast it moves. But I think I like it where it is. It's a little strange. They're floaty. They're not meant to be concentrated cast. They're meant to be a single shot. But it's a strong spell. Does repetitive frost damage. It's pretty good at slowing people down. And this is probably one of the most replicated spells ever. If you've checked most spell mods, including Midas Magic has a spell very similar to this. A lot of people have done things with the volley, but I actually edited the volley itself to make it a little bit slower and hit a little bit less hard, because I wanted it to feel like mist. Hit that cow. It also pierces. This is piercing frost damage, so unlike those other mods, this can kill an Atronach. And let's see here. What else did I have? Oh, Vile Darkness. I want to save that for last. I think that's the last spell I have to show off. So let's show you Vile Darkness. Let's go somewhere where you can see it better. This is not an epic spell, although it probably should be. considering it just what it does. So I've actually made another spell called Vile Darkness, and I didn't really get to show you guys that in my Skyrim series because it was so buggy and all that. That spell wasn't buggy, but the episodes were buggy. So I decided to remake Vile Darkness and completely change what it is. Because when I think of the words Vile Darkness, I don't think of a powerful whoosh spell. I don't think of a spell that just obliterates people. I think of a spell that just creates an unseemly environment. And this is the first draft of the spell. Hopefully the last, but I don't know. So we're gonna glub it down. So, it creates an aura here. Gooey nastiness. However, this doesn't deal terrific damage at all. It completely saps anything within a 20-foot radius. Basically, if they touch this and they get around it, like even within this range, their magic is destroyed. They can't use spells. It also saps fatigue. So Vile Darkness is a debuff spell. It is very strong, and as you can see, I don't really... that's cool when it hits a wall, but it can get really glitchy, and unfortunately I don't really have much control. See, that's perfect. That looks great. However, if I hit this tree... yeah. There's not much I can do about that. And the backside looks really glitchy, because that's where... this is actually the Shadow Mirror animation, so Shadow Mirror is supposed to come out of there, but he does not exist in the spell. It has its charms. So let's summon some mages and see how they can handle us. So I've hit this conjurer enough times. He's resorted to using a staff.
Fire, frost, or lightning, you will suffer.
Yeah, he's using his staff because he can't... oh, damn, Atronach. I didn't hit the Atronach, but... yeah, he's taking so much repeated damage from this thing that he can't use his normal spells. Oh, well, he got a bit of magic back there. Not as strong as I thought. No! Oh, I've been defeated. Shit. As you can see, you know, spells need a little work. I think I'm gonna boost the amount of damage this does. It seems to only do it periodically. If they stand still in it, it doesn't always give it off. I'm not sure if I'm going to make Vile Darkness a lobber spell. It seems like it should be, but I don't know. What do you think? Should I keep it as a straight shot, or should I make it a lobber like the other one? Let's see. Let me show you the difference. Lobber? Vile Darkness. See, one will keep going up, and the other one will slowly fall down. Whee! Yeah. I'm gonna add... I'm still aiming for 200, 300 spells. Maybe even 400. I haven't really decided. I want to get well past 200. That's my goal. So I'm making as many different spell types as I can think of. And, you know, your support, your suggestions probably will shape the mod too. If you guys are a fan of watching me just goof around with Skyrim, let me know what you think. Boobies! Oh. I set her on fire, I'm sorry. That's gotta really hurt. Fun fact, this is actually my Deckard Cain character. His eyes are all fucked up, though, since I installed an iMod. His hair is also completely screwed up, so I don't even dare show that. He had the whole Friar Tuck haircut going on, and now he doesn't. I am Deckard Cain. I am next to Talos. Blah. So this is just a little area of interest here behind the town. What the hell? Is that intentional? What is that? I'm finding little things I have to correct. Oh, that is intentional. Okay. Okay. I was worried. I was like, oh, there's a huge seam. You can't go in these buildings yet. Probably out of town with some standard NPCs, or maybe they'll just all be gone. I don't know. There's a little altar thingy here because people here worship the Daedra and blah 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 blah. Yeah, so let me know in the comments below what you'd like to, and I'm gonna have to fix that. That doesn't look good. What you'd like to see for spells? Is there anything in particular? Is there anything that you think I can create? Because at this point, there's very little I cannot create. I love how this fire spell came out. Oh god, I'm gonna have to do an ice equivalent. Oh yeah, before I forget, I might as well show you guys the other areas, if I can. Before I do... Crotch is on fire. Whoops. It still explodes when it hits a corpse, which is pretty cool. Both versions do it. Woo! That's a lot of damage. Hey, Farkas is still alive.
Is someone there?
And you're dead. Alright. Welcome to Arcana and Mysteries. So that's just basically your generic, non-elemental, magical classroom. As you can see, there's a nice gate, and it looks like the academy. However, it is not the academy, as you can start to see here. It is a classroom with seats. Got a mage statue with a glowing ball and a sword. And there's a bunch of different seats you can sit in and listen to lectures. Or you can be the lecturer. You can be like, "My name is Deckard Kane. Welcome, oh god damn it, the pedestal is too high. I can't see my students. There you are. I will get to die. Congratulations." Wow. Okay. Well, I guess that's a deceiving little drop there. The lectern is meant to be taller than the throne, simply because, you know, when the teacher's sitting down, they're reading a book, or they're correcting something. But when they stand up, they gotta be able to see everyone, and that's kind of the point. However, there are no NPCs, as mentioned before, and that is a glitch. I will have to fix that. So there will not be any, Oh! Alright, well, I got interrupted by the phone there, but it's okay. So, as I was saying, there will be no NPCs in the classrooms, so it will be relatively void of teachers and students. I don't know yet. This is the studies of frost and other kinds of ice magic. This was the first classroom I designed. So, it's really cold in here. And I might want to add more fog. I don't think I will, though. I think you get the point. It's a pretty small classroom. But, you know, I did that on purpose, again, because I figured people would be interested in fire, and fire's a bit bigger, and the teacher was, I guess, screwing around with all sorts of objects that could be enchanted with frost and all that. It has a very interesting feeling to it. So you can sit on this throne, and most of the furniture is sittable. Like, even these chairs you can sit in. Benches, whatever you want to call them. "Hello, teacher, how are you? I'm good. I'm getting the fuck out of here. But first, I will ruin everything you own." With shadow magic. I am going to wait to do the shadow... whoa, that is so hideous looking. Oh my god. Oh god, blah 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 blah. I'm gonna wait to do the shadow classroom, because I love shadow magic ever since Chrono Trigger and Magus and all his awesome abilities. I was like, yep, I'm in love with this element. Okay, so let's go to fire. Fire is pretty standard looking. It's got a lot of earth, a lot of burnt wood, and flames. Yeah, look at that fire. That's an impassable terrain. It's meant to just look nice and give you a nice lighting. Each room is different looking. I didn't want them all to look the same. So it's a similar layout, only red, rather than red and rocks. That's the difference between the frost room and this one. Instead of glaciers, you've got the rocks and the burnt wood. So you've got some static objects here, and I guess the teacher's talking about what you can do with fire. And that is a fire atronach, and that is a flame hazard. The atronach isn't causing that. If I stand too close, ow, I take damage. So essentially, you know, this room is all about the elemental fire. Talking about fire and its uses and smells of industry and fear, especially when the students are misbehaving and they get stuck in the closet with the atronach. But other than that, you know, it's a great classroom. Overall, I'm not going for too much realism when it comes to this place. I know some doors may look a little wonky, or I'm gonna have to clean this up though. That's just a mess. With death. Woo! I would also recommend, if you have a low-end computer, be gentle with the spells because you'll probably nuke your system. I'm not intentionally making them crazy strong spells, but that might accidentally happen. Alright, so I'm basically making this mod. My intentions with it are completely about the spells. I mean, this is a nice place. I'll even add a player's, quarters area, and it's still unfinished. I've got a lot of work to do here and there. I gotta add an invisible wall here so you can look down over the ocean, see the mountain, and get this nice little garden kind of thing. It's all overgrown. It looks nice. I like it. I guess the backstory is that very powerful wizards and sorcerers crafted this place out of these islands, and so it's very primordial. You had all the druids and necromancers and everything. Yeah, as you can see, I gotta fix this wall. It's a bit borky, but yeah, it. Yeah. Before I leave, I had a very funny glitch where I walked on this, and this actually needs this terrain. You can walk through, so I'm like, oh, I want to add a door. Ah, I fell to my death. So I had to add. You can't see it, but there's an invisible platform underneath it all. And that's keeping me from killing myself right now. I've added it on both sides. So this is the back entrance. And if you didn't guess it by now, it's very heavily inspired by Harry Potter. So those places is quite nice. I think these are going to be the personal quarters of the teachers, or your personal quarters will be somewhere here. I don't know. There's like a little garden here. I'm going to add an official alchemy garden and a potion brewing area. As it stands, this is so incomplete right now. But I figured I'd show you guys a little bit of behind-the-scenes magic. I don't normally do that. I normally prep everything, and I'm like, hey, look at my crazy shit. And you guys laugh, and I'm so happy you enjoy my videos. And I'm hoping at some point to add this mod to my repertoire, so you guys can enjoy a mod that I've created. And that is another glitch. I've got to work out all the little bugs. Kill it all. My name is Garrett Oakamber, and I will see you next time, and blow more shit up. Goodbye. Oh, massive taco night. Why did you eat so many tacos and burritos? Don't you know it's bad for you?